Yo, what up, chat? We're going to dive into this. First off, Happy New Year. You can see me good, hear me good. I didn't want to keep bringing up Last of Us, but I think it's the main thing to throw in the thumbnail. I am going to... we are going to cover the first premiere episode. Hopefully it's good and we can cover more than the premiere. I wouldn't mind having a little bit of an after show for each episode. Now, because I pretty much want to do like a Happy New Year. Here's what's going on. Here's my idea for some of the content we got coming up. I was going to upload a Doomsday Kingdom video today, but I think I'll save that for tomorrow. I'll give you guys some of the updates. Now that the holidays is over, Christmas is over, now we can start letting you know what's coming up with Doomsday Kingdom. I'll show that in a minute, but you guys know one of my main focuses is the Flaw review. We already have the channel up and running. I think we're like 5 subscribers away from hitting 300 subs, and our first little mini goal is 500 subs and then 1,000. But we're slowly building a community over there that is solely interested in the Flaw review videos, and those are the ones that are going to be my main focus for the beginning of this year. Originally, I was putting them up on this channel, but the algorithm was a real struggle. So that's kind of going to be the main focus beginning this year, Flaw review. However, I thought I do plan on checking out The Last of Us. I'm actually very excited. I think the casting is the only thing that is the biggest bleh to me, but I am very excited, especially for the clickers and the infected. More and more when I hear unfortunately, the co-creator of the show, he's the same guy who wrote Chernobyl. I think he wrote and directed it. Now, Chernobyl was a fantastic miniseries on HBO. They're not making... Yeah, it was just a miniseries. I think it was like 6 or 8 episodes, or maybe 10. But I thought it was fantastic. It was done great. But every time I hear an interview with this guy, the co-creator of Chernobyl, it just sounds so stupid. Like recently, the violence. They're like, "Oh yeah, I went in and I told Neil Druckmann we're gonna remove all the violence unless it's absolutely essential," which it's just a very stupid sounding. Here's the thing: if you come out and say, "Oh, you know what? We don't see a point to oversaturating the show with, blood, gore, violence, conflict, constantly, blah, blah, blah." But we already know what Hollywood does nowadays. James Cameron has already coming out sucking his own little pecker about how, yeah, I edited out 10 minutes of gun violence because I don't want to glorify guns. He calls it something else, but he did an interview recently talking about how he's ashamed of Terminator and how it glorified guns. And maybe I just don't view the movie the same as he does. When I think of Terminator, man, I think of the machines and yada, yada, yada. Guns and sexy guns and glorifying gun violence is probably one of the last things I ever even thought about. But when we get into Hollywood people that like to do this, we don't want to show gun. We know what they're going for is they don't want to show useful applications for guns. We don't, because then, it adds to political arguments, which gets so dumb. So when I hear them talk about how we're cutting out all the violence, and then they explain that, like he also said something like, yeah, well, when you die in a video game, it's just, I don't know. The quote was so dumb. It like went in one ear and out the other, but dying in a video game is literally a punishment that slows down or stutters your progression. It's basically like a block that keeps you from progressing forward. And depending on the challenge of the video game, you often have to do sections over again. And some of the sections can actually be complicated with and challenging when you incorporate stealth or any other like puzzle. So it just sounds like someone who doesn't play video games talking about this, blah, 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 blah. And some of it just sounds really ridiculous. So I thought the casting would be my only little bit of a oomph, but I'm starting to feel like Last of Us is going to be a really great show, but neutered in certain areas. Like, I truly feel like they're going to neuter violence, and especially gun violence. It's not like what they're coming out and saying, but I really feel like that's what they're angling for. And it'll be one of those shows where it's like, oh yeah, man, that was great. That was, you have tense moments in this and the third. But now that you know what they're going for, when you sit back and look at it, you can say, oh, you know what? I definitely see in this. We went 2 whole episodes, and you can definitely see how they trimmed it to include as least as possible when it comes to that. But anyhow, so let me see. We got more people showing up. Um, I'm going to repeat this again. My main goal is on my Flaw vs. All channel. That is uploading the highly edited, and that's for the videos I have to spend a lot of hours editing. I'm uploading the previously done videos up there while I'm working on some new ones that are going to go up. Now, for the map channel, since my focus is going to be on the Flaw vs. All, I thought it is possible, if you guys are interested, to check on The Last of Us with an after show, similar to what we did with The Walking Dead, where when the episode ends, I think the episode airs at 9 o'clock, right? And even though it's on HBO Max as well, I think you only get the capability of watching it at 9, whether you watch it on the service or in your house, meaning, you're out and about, pull it up on your phone. Matter of fact, isn't HBO Max going away anyhow? Isn't it just called Max in the future? It doesn't matter. So 9 o'clock, and I think it's an extended episode, 85 minutes, if I remember right. So that would lead us to, let's say around 9:30, give or take. It'd be pretty tight, but an hour and a half. Did my brain just shut off, or is that right? Just to give you an example. So we'll, at 9:30, Jesus, Lord have mercy. 10:30 we'll show up here on stream, and we get to discuss it right after it's done. Now, I can't promise that. I don't know if I'm going to do any actual edited review of Last of Us. I could probably just follow up the live stream the next day or two with a really simplified 2 to 5 minute quick, here's my overall thoughts. The reason I say it like that is because if The Last of Us show is really good, I don't see why I wouldn't just do Flaw vs. All. Flaw vs. All tends to be a little faster for TV shows, simply because with a movie, every second is packed with stuff that is it's like concentrated, So with a TV show, you do have these little bit spaces of time that just doesn't have such a concentration of shit, Yeah, AP. Unless you're throwing $50 for a gaming stream after this, forget about it, homie. You always want to bring it up stream knowing you ain't throwing down on it. You're not putting your money where your mouth is. So, no, we're going to do this stream. It's going to be a short one, and then I got to roll. Going into 2023, I was looking at my schedule just recently, and I love hanging out with you guys, but there's a lot of things I got to tighten up. So that means that with the gaming streams, it's probably going to take a cut just for a little bit, because I just need to make sure I have my work done and prepped in my schedule, because I already have a schedule for 2023, because it's either those videos kind of do something or I'm done. I mean, I'm not on YouTube, done with YouTube, meaning I'm not on YouTube to be popular. If that was the case, I wouldn't even be doing this. I love dissecting and breaking down movies and shows and figuring out what works and what doesn't. It probably took me far too long to realize, if I can go back in time, I would have started with Flaw vs. All from day one and just done that and that only, and done boom. So if that doesn't work, I think because I was thinking about this over the last few months, and there's a big chance it won't work, those type of review styles. If that doesn't work, I think I'm good with just getting off of YouTube. Now, I love making content, so there's always something I'm going to want to do. But I just need to focus on grinding, because I keep pulling my time away and putting it into 10 other things at once. And I know I was looking at my schedule and what I did with my time, and I love hanging out with you guys, but I just got to tighten up in certain spots. And Then when we get some free time, jump in it and rock on, you know? Phantom Knight says, prayers for AP's grandma's surgery. Wish her well. Yeah, wish your grandmother well. I must have missed that in chat. I did see one comment, but I didn't know it was surgery, so I hope your grandmother's surgery is going well, brother. So I'm going to read the comments, though, and we'll see if you guys are interested in doing an after show for The Last of Us. I did want to mainly just kick it tonight for a few minutes and talk about, just say Happy New Year, touch base with you guys. Now, we sent out these emails. I'm only going to rush through this quick because if you're interested in Doomsday Kingdom, I will throw up a, let me get it so you guys can see it better. I will throw up a video that is strictly dickly. What is up with that? Why does it do that shit, man? Yeah, I swear to fucking God, sometimes I want to punch the thing in the face. You gotta like lock every layer. Like I don't understand how it's this difficult. When you click on a layer, you should be able to rock and roll with that. Like I clicked on a certain layer, I should be able to rock and roll with it. All right, so here's Doomsday Kingdom so you can see it clear. I'm going to do a separate video and post it up tomorrow for those who want all the information, but I'll just blow through it really quickly. I didn't want to overload you guys right before Christmas and come out and say, okay, we're moving over to Etsy, giving it a shot, because Christmas is already tight with the way it is with getting gifts for everybody. So now that Christmas is over, anyone who is interested, we're moving over to Etsy, which is turning out pretty cool. Like I said, you can actually start seeing how many people have it in your carts and whatnot. But we have the digital of issue 6, which is up now. That is totally brand new. If anyone is interested, you can go over to Etsy right now and get a discount. I think the discount is still going for the holiday. We're going to leave it on for a little bit. It might not be there. It might be on a timer. I forget how we set it, but that's digital. You can read them, the full issues right now for issue 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we also have new pre-order bundles while we just got in the stock for the first batch of pre-orders. So if you did have your pre-order in this week, we're going through all the emails, locking down and confirming the changes of addresses and getting the shipment stock sent to us so we can start shipping that out coming up real soon. So just let you know, we have the volume 1, we have around 70 remaining, and once that is sold out, that's totally gone. And we have new covers coming and new stock coming for issues. Here's a look at issue 2. If you remember, the old issue 2, the original cover was the view behind the zombie and behind the father and child watching fireworks. Well, the new issue cover is going to be the perspective as if the father turned around and his point of view looking at the zombie crawling, coming towards him. This picture is actually done. I shared that image in my Discord, and I friggin' love this cover. It doesn't show out too well here just because it's a condensed image, but the art on that zombie head is crisp. I think that's one of the best single zombies that James has done. He looks friggin' cool. Like a simple zombie, without any gimmicky machete coming through his eyeball. Like it's just a zombie face, but it looks pretty damn cool. And as well as some other stock that's up there. If you guys want to go check out the Etsy, it's doomsdaykingdom.com. It'll take you directly to Etsy also, or you can go to, matter of fact, if I click on it, it is etsy.com shop Doomsday Kingdom. You have to put in the backslash. So I'll put that in the chat. Let me pull up the chat. For those interested, now that the holidays is over, I want to start giving as much updates as we can. One of our big goals this year is to get consistent stock in there and at least come out with, because from now on, I think one of the main goals is to, with issue 7, come right out and say it's on Etsy. Issue 7 is on Etsy. No more pre-orders. It's right on Etsy. go ahead and grab it. And that way, new people as well, if we keep 1 through 7 constantly in stock. And again, it's going to take a little bit because it is rough, because you just simply don't make money on the floppy comics. But that's why we're also trying to really push for digital. Any new people want to come and read digital, you can go ahead and buy it, read it right this minute. The artist has sketch covers. There's original art, and the cover is up for issue 2. Actually, you can see the new cover. Here's a better, I don't know if it'll give us a better picture, but here's the full cover of issue. Nah, it's not going to give us, I can see how it compresses it. That's a terrible way to look at but what are you going to do, though? You can't not compress the images, or else it won't really show good. So yeah, that's a single one of a kind. But all right, let me go back to here. Like I said, the Doomsday Kingdom. Happy New Year, J Spot. Thank you very much for the renewing your membership. Soft batch, Ronnie, if you're up for gaming stream tonight, Phantom and I will dono 25 each. Play whatever. Well, 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 I know you guys are down. I know you guys are down to support. That's one thing I do feel extra bad for, because it's like we have the gaming streams, but we're small, man. We only got like the same 5 people that support those streams, and that's it. It's like I feel bad after a while. That's why I'm like, you know what, I need to do some stuff. Get just at least from January, February, March, at least to March-ish, where it's going to be a bit rocky. And then I think I have a plan to where it'll be a little more stable. We'll have select days where it'll be, this day is, these 2 days are for gaming, hanging out. And then this day is for over here on the map channel, hanging out. And then we'll have the new stuff coming up, Flaw vs. Saw. And, but we're not going to be on stream on this channel long. I want to dive into the comments, so there's a good chance maybe we'll go over it. If when we're done here, if you and Phantom still agree with that, maybe we'll throw over to Ronnie Hayes for an hour and a half. And I think, what do you guys want to do? God of War? We could do the Evil West, but I don't think a lot of people are interested in what's left over from Evil West. God of War is pretty much fighting the berserkers, though. So then again, I don't know if people are into that. We'll have to see. That's if you guys are still interested, though. Spitfire said, do you have Volume 1 to buy, or would I have to get... Yeah, Volume 1 is ready right now. If you're in the United States, I should say, because there's a couple caveats because of how international has gotten insane. The volume is right this minute. We have just from here on out. If it's an old order, it's different. But from here on out, if you're ordering the volume, I have the only remaining volumes in the United States. So if you're in the US, if you order it now, it ships first thing in the morning tomorrow or the next day. Sometimes I drop it off, and I noticed the actual post office takes like a day or two to process whatever the hell. But the volumes are in hand right now, so it would be minimal wait. I think people get the mail between 3 to 7 days usually, unless there's a little bit of a delay. When will 6 come out in print? Issue 6 is in print right now. The artist just received the very first bundle. I haven't received the bundle yet, but the artist sent over pictures, which will be included in the video that I post tomorrow. But issue 6 looks so cool in print. So we have issue 5 and 6 fully printed, and we received our first batch in the UK, and we're waiting on a batch to get to me, and I'll be able to ship those orders out, and then we'll put together the specialty ones, because some of them are signed, but that's only a very limited amount. So 6 is in print now. Like I said, anyone, if we get more than a handful of people that pre-order, we'd probably have to just order another 50 or so. We'll order it in 50 chunks. But I think we have a few extras, so if some people jumped on now, it would probably bleed into the order that's already up. Everything Craig Mazin has written outside of Chernobyl is awful. Look at his IMDb, just a bunch of bad comedies. Yeah, that's crazy then. I don't know, man. Does Etsy have a command yet? Add B, I think way pin amendment. Oh, I'm not sure. I, if we did have one, we put it on the Ronnie Hayes. Cody K says $1.99 is a steal for this comic. Yeah, we put it on sale digitally, $1.99. And what's funny is, James just had this idea to do our Doomsday Kingdom for $1. He was like, "Yo, it'll be fun over the holidays. We'll do $1 Doomsday Kingdom." And I wasn't thinking anything about it either. I said, "Yeah, what the hell? Why not?" And then a little while later, he's like, "Bro, I can't put it for $1 on the website." And I'm like, "Oh, why is that?" And he goes, "Because all the processing fees, it costs $1 to sell the comic. So we literally had to put it at $1, at $2, just so we would at least make $1 off the digital." I mean, but when you're selling comics, you just get desperate. It's like, well, we have to do a sale. Well, I mean, it's a one single digital comic. What are we going to charge for it? We would love to charge $1, but I think the listing fee for Etsy is 20 cents. The processing fee for a single order is like 60 cents for every order. Now, if you're buying a $100 print, who gives a shit? It's 60 cents. But when you're selling a $1 clearance comic book, a 60-cent processing fee is like, that's almost a whole dollar. So $2 is literally the minimum we can go. I think we make $1.10 off each digital comic sold, which is crazy because we would need thousands of customers in order to even have something going to put it back into it. You know what I mean? Um, but we have no problem with doing discount to kind of get new blood interested and to we had stuff behind the scenes like the artist. Wait a minute, is this? I think this might be pictures of the actual printed comic. Yeah, look, I forgot the artist put these up yet, but these are actual print copies of the UK copies that made it to James in the UK. This is issue 5 that's printed, and this is issue 6 that's printed. I can't wait to get it in hand. Here's the inside cover of issue 6. I can't wait to get it in hand because that issue 6 cover looks fire. I already seen what issue 5 looks in hand, but that issue, I'm sorry, yeah, issue 5. That issue 6 looks fucking sick. But I love that color scheme. But yeah, put my money where my mouth is that we have it already printed. But again, that's doomsdaykingdom.com or go to Etsy backslash, etsy.com backslash shop backslash Doomsday Kingdom. Ronnie should make a separate gaming channel because the algorithm will push the new account. Walker, we do have a separate gaming channel. That's why we've had a separate gaming channel for the past year. I honestly don't think. Listen, having a gaming channel just doesn't. That just doesn't. You're not going to do it. There's so many people who want to do gaming. You got to have some sort of gimmicky thing, or at least catch on to some sort of wave, and you got to want to do it. Like, look at all the people doing gaming stuff that's riding a wave. I have zero interest in being a gaming YouTuber. That would be the last thing I would actively try to want to be. We only hang out on the gaming stuff to literally just hang out with us. If you could be like, "Yo, Ronnie, hey, you want to, do the game?" I don't want to be a gaming streamer. So, but we do have the channel. But as far as it growing, I got to get the Flaw versus all to grow because that's something that I have a lot of passion in and I want to see grow. If you could tell me, "Hey, I saw the future, it'll never work," I would make this my last stream and bounce and just focus on being a video editor. There's a ton of money in it, and I'd probably be able to come back and stream, in a year or two and be like, "Hey, listen, I'm good. I got some time. I'm set now. I got my things stable." Um, but we do have a separate channel with it. Happy New Year. Everything goes well this year. Only create the content you want. If it doesn't work out, at least you try. There's no point if the interest isn't there. I agree with you. Can you do a couple minutes? Wait, a couple minute of Last of Us? What do you mean? You mean the game? No, no offense, Justin, but why can't you just click on, the 75 other Last of Us streams I already did? You know what I mean? Like, if you just want to see how it looks, I guess. I literally played the remake just a few months ago. Yeah, just like 2 months ago. I mean, you could just watch it 5 minutes and see what it looks like. Unless you're saying something else. I'm excited for Last of Us show. However, there's some talk that they toned down the violence compared to the game. Is this R-rated show or PG-13? Yeah, they did tone down the violence. One of the running themes in Hollywood, I talked about this earlier before you got here, is gun violence. A lot of Hollywood creators want to cut out and trim gun violence, and are actively starting to form little bubbles talking to each other about it. It's not just simply a couple people. Ronnie Dono's not popping up. Oh, well, why not? Hold on. Let me just look real quick. Yeah, it is a, oh, here's Negan did tip. Well, what happened with the Dono? Let me fix something. Hold up. When I was making the background screen bigger so you can see the image, I think I knocked out the donos. So hold on 1 second. I'll replay it.
Hey Ronnie, just stopping by to give you some support. Currently playing The Last of Us Part 1 remake. It's absolutely gorgeous. Can't wait to see your review for the show.
Damn, here's Negan. Thank you very much for coming by with a 50 bomb. That helps a lot. You guys helping out has kind of kept the madness afloat the last couple years. Now that I'm refocusing, and hopefully we'll have a better streak in a couple months now that we have the content split where it hopefully needs to go. But thank you very much. And I have to say, the remake of Part 1 is incredible. I'm glad it exists. I know a lot of people like to complain when it came out. I kind of get it if, you weren't really into it, but it was one of my favorite games ever. And being able to play it in its final state on the PS5 is like it's like a gift, I fucking loved it. So I know exactly what you mean. It is gorgeous. And the characters too. I still go back and look, and I'm like, I don't understand those comments where people say, I can't even tell which one is the new version. I just don't believe those comments. You're either lying or I don't. Your eyes don't work. You could put them side by side, unless it's the most obscure type of screenshot. But you could put them side by side, and 100% you can pick out the one that is the remake. 100%, because it's a huge difference. It's like one's a cartoon and one's a real life people. That's how different they are. Now the original looked incredible. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just glad it exists. I will say though, as far as the review for the show, I am really hoping at the very least, maybe there's a few things that I don't like, but I'm hoping it's enough of us to enjoy it so we can have a decent after party and talk about it some. Because it's one thing I love doing, and that's why I did it with The Walking Dead so long. I like shutting off the show and sitting down and discussing some of what I liked and didn't like. And again, that's what bleeds into the Flawverse also well. Because what is the Flawverse all? It's simply what did we like and what didn't we like, but it's organized in the video. But again, here's Negan. Thank you very much. All right, I don't know how the hell I did that, but I screwed it up. Oh, and I did want to show someone before we go back to the comments. Someone made a comment saying that something about The Walking Dead, and what does it matter? The Walking Dead and The Last of Us are both CGI, so it doesn't matter for the post-apocalyptic world. And I tried telling them that yes, there's a lot in it that is touched up using CGI for The Last of Us, but when you see some of the clips of them in a real life location, there's probably an 80% increase in real life location compared to the Walking Dead. I shit you not. I mean, if you can go and do a 1-to-1 and kind of show, well, don't go where The Walking Dead uses, one little broken corner of a cement wall and then the woods and say, oh, look, they're using the entire location. No, I mean, if you look at this image here, it's going to be tiny on your screen. Let me look to make sure you guys can see what I see. But if you see this image here, this is what was in the trailer. And this is full blown, straight up shot of this entire street all the way to the building here. I mean, this is outdoors zombie apocalypse, 20 some years later. You got all the rot going on, the natural rot. And when you watch the fans filming of the real life actors in the real life locations, you can see where they have the foundation of what's real. This truck here, it looks like they did add a lot of CGI to special effects to touch up some of the greenery here. I'm not sure if when they were filming they were going for more of a fall look and then switched it up. I don't know, but because you would think, like, why wouldn't you just have some more of the green there? But the idea is, if you watch this fan filming them, it's a nice strip of real cars, real locations, real dirt, real grime. And again, they do add CGI on top of it, but there's just so much more to the real life location that The Walking Dead was not using. And I don't want it to turn into a compare 1-to-1, but sometimes there's almost no way not to compare them, I don't think. At least for a little bit anyhow. Well, I appreciate that, Musy. I was actually going to look for someone else to do my Flaw vs. All. I'll be honest with you. I was like, maybe I should just stick with the editing. And then if I can get someone else to be in front of the camera and whoop-de-whoop, maybe I can even go younger, hire someone that is maybe in their 20s or something that can maybe partner up and be like the face of the Flaw vs. All. That would have been cool, but in all reality, the chances of me finding someone like that, um, that would be ride or die and build it from the ground up, it's slim to none, especially nowadays, because everybody would be like, just want to do their own thing. Because I get, everyone has that chance to just do something, but you got to understand, you need some sort of idea to build off of. Am I in Philly? No, I'm not in Philly. I moved out of PA. You were just asking what you wanted us to watch you play. I just threw it out there because you had the pic up on the screen. Oh, I see. I see. That was when when I said that, I meant between those games that we're in the middle of playing. My bad, Justin. I was wondering why you said that. I was like, wait, what are we talking about? Because we had just done. You don't have to you don't have to twist my wrist, by the way, to play Last of Us. If chat was into it, I would probably just I would play this shit out of some Last of Us. I don't give a shit, especially the remake. I'd throw it in anytime. um, Game and stream now. We got a few minutes. I want to make sure I cover up the crime. I want to cover up the crime. I want to make sure I get more people's thoughts and opinions. I was going to make this one an hour, but if we're pretty much good on returning for the Last of Us show and there's no other things popping up to discuss, we can shoot over in a little bit and do a game and stream. What up, John Rod? Do you think the opening scene will be like the game? I have a feeling it will be a flashback scene. Well, Glenn Harris, I think we know it's a flashback scene now because perfect example. We keep getting images like this. Well, wait a minute. You might mean it differently though. Now here's the thing. this is going to turn into a technicality, but a flashback means you have to start in present day and then flash back 20 years in the past and then come back to present day. I mean, that's just a technicality, but I was thinking it would start like the game. Uh, I don't see any other reasons. It depends on how they structured the first episode. I don't see many other reasons why they wouldn't. However, I do see them changing it. Like in the game, Joel was chilling and he came home from work late at night, and then Sarah got up, got him a gift, and you had that interaction. And then she fell asleep. And to be honest, it was a little quick, awkward pass of time because then she fell asleep for a few minutes, like half hour, and then Joel brings her to bed, and then she falls asleep again, and then you become the player as Sarah, and Joel isn't there. So we already got images of this is the Sarah that's going to be in the show, and she's outside, and maybe she's coming home from school. She's got her backpack on, and we start seeing some of the weird shit. Maybe something happens with Joel's neighbor, and we get inside. She's looking for her dad. Her dad's not home yet. She had just gotten home, so then her dad gets home, and maybe they'll kick it off from there. And we don't get the watch scene. We have to have the watch scene, but maybe we don't get it the same way. So maybe they'll kick it off with this. Or one thing I definitely wouldn't put it past them, especially for a TV show, is speaking of what you're talking about, flashbacks. We kick a scene off in the whole first episode. We'll have a sprinkle of flashbacks to where, like for example, Joel and Tess are looking for something, guns, food stamps, whatever they're doing in the game. They were looking for their guns that were stolen by what's his name, Robert. So it can start with Joel and Tess looking for something, and then it'll do flashbacks of Joel's daughter before coming home from school, Joel's birthday, getting the watch. So that way they can do all these things in little segments and they don't have to. Because part of the idea of doing the flashbacks is you don't have to do these weird cuts where it's like, they're coming home from, you could just do a hard cut and then you can do the gift opening. Oh, Dad, I got you something. And then you bring in the soundtrack, do a hard cut, and then boom, you're in present day 20 years later and he's moving his watch. So you can condense the amount of storytelling utilizing flashbacks. But yes, based on this picture alone, that's being promoted as and this picture, I didn't see this one, but these are being promoted as Last of Us pictures. I mean, they are, right? I was assuming we're gonna get flashbacks, but kicked off at least similar to how the game was. Do you think the David death will be less gory compared to the game? Yes, I do. Matter of fact, I think we even see images of, let me just double check my folder here. I think we even see images of, I didn't save the picture. Oh, yeah, we do. I didn't save it from Ellie's perspective, but she only has a tiny, tiny bit of blood. This is the moment where Ellie is freaking out and Joel grabs her, unless I'm mistaken, but you know what I mean. It was in the trailer. Joel grabs her, and Ellie only has a little bit of blood on her, and she is crying. And that is a moment where I would have imagined her being more covered in blood. But I think it's about the idea, more than it is showing that violence. However, the violence, and this is what sometimes I just can't stand they just feel, what's the word I'm looking for? Some of these, the Hollywood type, they just feel so fucking, oh man, what's the word I'm looking for? Like they did this in the Walking Dead as well, where Michonne took a prisoner of war, and she had this woman who was giving her information. She was on the enemy side, Negan's side. She was giving her information. She was an honorable soldier. She told Michonne how to get away, even though she knew Michonne was going to kill her. And you have this honorable prisoner of war, and Michonne executes her. But so they can get away with it not being as fucked up, because no one talks about it, why? Because what they did is they panned away from the van and they showed it from like 1,000 feet away in the sky, and there's this little pop, and then the car slowly starts turning around, meaning Michonne shot the girl, threw her body somewhere, and jumped in the driver's seat. But if you look at that, think about that. The camera pans away, there's a little pop. Sometimes that's very artistic, and you can actually circle back around and give it that punch, but they never did that. They just moved the camera so far away. There's a little pop and the car turns. It's so disconnected. But in reality, here's Michonne, someone who's supposed to be one of the good guys, one of the best guys when it comes to in the good guy group. And she put a gun to an unarmed soldier's head who's totally harmless, helpless, and blew her fucking brains out, all over her own Jeep, and then carelessly just threw her body off to the side. Like, when you see it, though, if we never left the van, if we were right there and you see the girl taking her last moments before she's about to get executed, and Michonne just blasts her in the fucking head, it hits different, especially the violence right in your face. So when they say they're taking it out, I see them doing it because they're scared. The Walking Dead has this I feel it's untrue, but this stigma that Negan killed two main characters in such a in your face and gory way that fans bounced. That's not actually the truth if you look at the stats. The real numbers show you that there was a problem with the finale in 6, and we all know why. And once the return happened, you saw a little chunk that bounced. And again, we know why. The fucked up momentum. Then when the return happened, it was not as fulfilling, a little bit left. And then every episode after that, they fucked us on the structure. They screwed us on some of the character development. And more people started leaving. So I think HBO is a bit scared. The more violence, the less money you'll make. What else we got? Oh yeah, Muse. I would need someone. That's what makes it tough. I need someone in person that could live at least close to me, because it's not just voice. I would need someone who lives near me where they can come over and film. And when I say partner, I mean legit partner, someone that can actually work a few hours every day in person. Come over, record. Actually, it wouldn't even be too much, but you would have to record at least about 5 hours one day out of the week at the very minimum. And then be able to come over and voice some pickups after. Joel's voice actor said Pedro Pascal's portrayal of Joel is so good he would go back and change his voice portrayal if he could. Yeah, I read that article. I think part of me understood what he was going for, and then part of me was like, just no. There's always things that you'll want to correct with your work. Absolutely. However, Joel is loved not because of what Pedro Pascal did with him, but Joel is loved for what was already done with him, and I'm sure people will look at what Pedro Pascal does and they'll be like, oh man, that is amazing. But that doesn't mean that should be the version of Joel. No, that's another great version of Joel. That if Pedro came first and then you saw the Joel after, there's a really good chance that you'll be like, man, listen, that friggin' video game version of Joel, I love this. I love how he's so, stern here, because I think Pedro is making him a little less stern. And that's one thing I loved about the video game version, because he was very stoic. But Ronnie, is there any part of the Last of Us story that you would like them to divert from? Any part that I want them to divert from? It is a pretty tight story. I will say, What would be one if they were gonna divert? No, I think when it comes to the first game, I think I have nitpicks, small ones, but I don't think there's anything major that I would want them to divert from. I know there's something in the back because we talked about this before. I know there's something. I'm just not remembering it now. Yeah, flashbacks are tricky to do. You really have to know what you're doing. I haven't seen Smile yet. Pittsburgh is my favorite. What do you say? Chapter from the game. Can't wait to see how they do it on the show. It'd be cool to show the flashbacks of Joel and Tommy in their hunting days. Yeah, that's one thing I don't think the show will do. At least not in the first season. Flashbacks of early on. It would be cool though. I mean, you know what? If they kept the theme of flashbacks, there is a possibility where we can see Joel and Tommy flashbacks for one of the episodes. Maybe the episode where Joel meets back up with Tommy. I mean that is possible. That's definitely possible. Have they ever made a TV show based on a video game that follows the game's story? Honestly, this show's existence is odd to me, but I'm looking forward to it nonetheless. Nothing that is close, unless I'm wrong about something that is forgotten about. But if you look at a lot of the stuff that's been done, whether it's show or movie, some of it has roots, but it's way off, you know? I don't know. Here's the thing though, Chance 2D, uh, it'll make it past season one. I'll bet you money. Why? Because it's a franchise that makes money, woke or not. Woke is another tricky topic. Not to defend it, but there's actively organizations funding it. So again, it's a little more complicated. It's funny to say go woke, go broke, and in some ways that's right because you lose the fans, but you're not losing the money because you're being funded by these organizations. Again, it's too tricky. But The Last of Us is, at least from the trailer, it looks quality enough to have some of the agenda stuff slidden in there, not so in your face. Because some of the worst stuff is when it's really just mashed in your face, and there's just no denying it. You know, like some of the Resident Evil, some of the Willow, like these shows have horrendous writing. Willow's one that is incredibly. The writing is so incredibly shit. It's incredible it was even made. But when some of the shows that have, you still have that essence of the agenda in it, but you got more quality content that's there, that'll just not even be seen by the masses that don't pay attention to the online discussion about it. Um, Someone said doo doo. I don't know what doo doo woke is though. I'm not sure how you mean that. I wonder why there's a lot of green with the ABC. Normally we have different colors, right? Like here's a blue, but a lot of it is like, I hate when they do that, all one color, because when I look quick, it looks like the same person is commenting all the time, you know? um, yeah, I think if there's anything else, we'll flip over if if Soft Batch and Phantom Knight are still down, we'll jump over to the gaming. I didn't see a lot of recommendations, so maybe we'll just jump over and pop in um, Evil West and see how it goes. I'm not really sure. What up, Walker Dog? Oh, don't do. Oh, you meant don't do. So what were you saying though? Don't do woke. Yeah. I'm not sure in the context though, because you can have multiracial kids and it doesn't, you know, and it doesn't have whatever. But with Neil Druckmann's background getting flamed for making Joel who he is in the video game, we know why it's done purposefully in the show, and I think that's where some of the criticism derives from, because they didn't just come up and go, "Oh man, we have this talent, we have this talent." No, they went into it knowing we want someone who can pass for white, but they can bring in a race swap. I mean, it's done on their end purposefully. Us just mentioning it though, or not us as like a collective, but like let's say I just mention it just because I mentioned something that they're actively doing because they got flamed for making a, again, it sounds so stupid, but the straight gruff, no, they call it cis gruff white male. Same thing that Days Gone got flamed for, but they're the ones doing it just because we mention it. That's just how it is. I mean, tell them. I don't know. Or I don't know. I don't know. There's always weird discussions to have because it's like they're actively doing it. It's not like we're looking at everything going, "Oh, I'm just saying whatever." You meant the woke convo? No, I got you. I see what you're saying. Your comment was to that a comment back there. So yeah. Yep, yep, yep. So here's the thing. To recap, Doomsday Kingdom digital is out on Etsy. We got the brand new issue out digital. We have a new set of pre-orders up. We're gonna be jumping into Doomsday Kingdom this year, hopefully heavy. Starting slow, getting back on our feet. I saved it for the special video that's going to come up tomorrow, but well, not special, but specific video. But James is really what's a good way to? I don't want to say invested, but really buffed up his workspace. I got some images I'll share. That's pretty fucking cool. But we're gonna return here January 15th on the Map channel. If not sooner for something or other, but we'll return here around 10:30 immediately after the episode ends. Unless something comes up, I'll make a community post. But again, January 15th at 10:30. If you want to talk about The Last of Us after it airs, show up here. There's not much we could do about time zones. I know I'm going to get people saying, "Can you wait 30 minutes? Can you wait the next day? Can you wait?" There's not much I can do about time zones, but on the first video we do, I'll take suggestions and we'll play around with different times and what we can do. But for now, that's how we're going to rock it. So, Last of Us here after. Walker says, "I'm a huge fan of Doomsday Kingdom." Thank you very much. I'm glad you are. Me and the artist are actually putting together a pitch, hopefully to get Doomsday Kingdom in comic shops if all goes well. But this is the fun part. Because of how it was structured as far as the issues and the volumes and yada, 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 from 7 on, which is what we're working on now, I think around like from 7 to like 14-ish, that is where I can start putting in, I don't want to call it the gimmick, it's really the hook, but that's where I'm starting to put the hook of the story. And I didn't, for other reasons, I didn't want to start with the hook. It's really complicated because issue 1, I talk about this a lot. Doomsday Kingdom issue 1 is, it's something that means something in the story, but when we get to it in the story issues later, it's actually going to change what it means in issue 1, but also have a different meaning as well when you reread it. So there's a little bit of a headache. It's a little simplistic too, just because there's a lot of moving parts. It diverts the story in a cool way, but I needed like Last of Us. The gimmick is a dude with a fucked up past, which connects to the present, has to smuggle a girl that's could be part of the cure. That's the gimmick, the hook. The Walking Dead, that hook is really funny because the hook only lasts for like the first episode or two, first few issues. But the hook is just man wakes up from coma, goes to find his family in a zombie apocalypse. Like that's the hook. And you get in a lot of books, they give you the hook first. But again, because of how I wanted to structure the comic, and I took a chance on it. Maybe people won't like it later, but from 7 to 14 ish, that's where we plant the hook. So that's going to be a lot of fun because then when we come to pitching the story, you could pitch it with the hook. And then it's simplified. It's easier. When I say someone waking up in a zombie apocalypse from a coma, going to find his family, that's like 2% of what The Walking Dead is about, but that's a great hook. And you can even pitch that to someone if you want to make a movie about it. Same thing for The Last of Us. Smuggling is a bigger part of the story compared to The Walking Dead's hook, but it's also only like 10% of the story. You have a lot of meat that leans on that 10%, but anyhow, wait, James is in the chat. I am shocked you're awake, dog. What are you doing awake? And yeah, I guess I missed someone asked about the volume. It is issues 1 to 5. Thank you, James. Yeah, we already covered that. Volume 5 is USA ASAP. And if you are interested, keep an eye out tomorrow. We're going to have images. I showed you the pictures of the friggin' sexy books printed, but we got images I'm going to show off of James's setup. Looks pretty fucking sick. And some plans of what to move forward. Just condensed in its own separate video. So that way you don't have to watch the live stream and miss information. So the Doomsday Kingdom video will be up tomorrow. So you guys can check that out. As well as... hold on. What the fuck am I doing here? Let me get the last bit of a questions done. Yeah, the actress doesn't look like Ellie. Yeah, I hope it's good as well. Rick and Michonne show apparently starts shooting this week. We'll see if that's good. We'll see. Yeah, Angel. Pedro Pascal as Joel is literally the Mandalorian without the outfit, without the armor. I mean, it's almost one for one the same fucking story. Top Gun Maverick. I gotta see that. Well, I don't think Pedro is the worst choice, but I don't think he's the best. Not at all. All right, let's. All right, guys. So that's the plan. Hopefully, I didn't confuse anybody with what we got going on. Did you hear another Night of the Living Dead movie coming out this year? Honestly, I lose track. A year or two ago, they were talking about a follow-up that they filmed that was going to be a sequel to Day of the Living Dead, but not officially a sequel, but it will have the same actors. I saw behind the scenes pictures of them filming it, and then I didn't hear anything about it. I don't know if that came out. I don't know what they're doing, but I will say I am. I had a talk with someone who does these videos. Just so happened they asked me about a tip when it came to doing videos, and they actually had a really good set of Instagram videos where they walk up to people and they're like, "Oh, hey, can I film you doing this job and I'll edit a little promo video, you know?" And one thing was pretty cool because they had them at this like paintball arena or something like that. That's not what it was, but just to give you an idea. And like there's action going on and like they're dropping balls and like running the cash register, but they're adding these sound effects. And when you look at it and you're thinking of how interesting it is, and you look at what you can do with truly independent horror movies and even comedies, and again, those are the two biggest. Those are the two that lean on the indie factor. because of the charm so heavily, where you could do a fucking super indie. But the thing is, it's the crew. Like when you take these people who have a ton of talent and they're just hungry to get something that looks really good, it doesn't even have to be perfect, you know? That's one thing that I want to tackle. That's like one of my biggest goals by the end of this year. That's why I'm really I'm really changing things up and getting super focused on doing certain things because I want to be able to get there. And one thing I noticed from, 21, 2022, there was a lot of my time where I'm just hitting or missing over here. And, it's not a bad thing. We're having fun hanging out, but some of it is like, all right, I'm pushing stuff to tomorrow, but then tomorrow comes and I got other stuff I had scheduled, so I got to shift it around. And that one little hour, you know what I mean? Fucking got shifted, and next thing you know, it's 5 days later, and it's like, all right, I'm finding time to get that 1 hour done. It's just messed up when you have so many different projects. I don't know how else to say it, but did you see the bloater reveal in the trailer? Yes, I saw the bloater. It's pretty cool. I don't have an actor picked as Joel. I'm convinced an unknown or lesser known is perfect for Joel. My sleep schedule not normal since being on holiday. Oh, I gotcha. I gotcha. Well, have a good night. I'm gonna roll out. We'll pop in the game. Like I said, if others are ready to hang out on the Ronnie Hayes channel, we'll chat a little bit. And I will see you guys, if you're a fan of The Last of Us, back here January 15th at around 10:30-ish. The moment it's over, show up here and we'll talk about it. I'm actually kind of excited to at least talk about the premiere, and if that goes well, we'll return for the second episode and see how that goes. Same thing with any Walking Dead. If I have the time, and the episode ends, if I happen to see it, I'll jump on. But we don't have any new Walking Dead coming out anytime soon. So, and also on my Ronnie Hayes channel, Dead Space is a horror game coming out at the end of this month. Stay tuned for that because we're going to play some of that and hang out here and there. And then the Flaw vs. All review, I'm going to start uploading a couple bangers, and then we got a brand new one coming out soon. So hopefully you'll be able to check that out. All right, good night, guys. Be safe, and I'll see you on January 15th.